something new. And at the zone, not impressed. It's just fluff. It's not new. It's just they kind of just poured everything that's already in the game into a melting pot and called it something new.
Yeah.
So
I
I
mean, I think
was like,
for
well, maybe this describing thing is going to be it. They would have been better served to do something that people actually wanted, like another weapon skill line. Like, hell, I don't care. Put spears in the game. I don't care. Or a wand for the mages, or do another class. Something that people want, not the scribing thing. Is just nah. Just you know.
yeah. Yeah, I think for a new player playing the first time this game, I think they will absolutely love it.
Sure.
But for someone who's been years, it feels like the same thing over and over again,
Yeah.
and that's why,
Yeah.
I think we feel the way we feel. For
That's
anyone
the
who's listening
impression
to
I
this,
got from the
yeah,
overall from the reveal was you're not putting anything new.
yeah. Now anyone who's listening to this, understand we want the best for the game. So we're criticizing, but we hope we're wrong, and we hope that anyone listening, even the developers, can make this game better. So that's why we criticize, because we want to see the game continue to grow. We don't want
Oh
it to
yeah, of
die.
course.
Yeah. Another thing too. So I pretty much, you're probably gonna pretty much feel the same way I feel. But they mentioned about, so you play the zone, you play the overland. Now you're doing quests, and you're gonna get to see your characters, fan favorite characters. Yay! Players
Yeah.
can choose how to follow, and you can choose how to follow the Go Road story. So how does it feel that your special favorite, fan favorite Khajiit, you're gonna be able to see him again in the game when you're questing on the Go Road?
Yeah. I
What
mean,
do you feel about that?
again, for a newer player that is just getting into the game, it might be exciting, but I could care less about all of the NPCs. I mean, everybody's probably got some that they like a little bit more than others, but I don't. I mean, they're not for end gamers. It's not that exciting. Like,
Yeah. This is the one that now this is a topic that I'm really gonna mention, because I keep nagging, I keep complaining about it. That So they decided to make a new zone. Okay, every year we know they're gonna make a new overland. We know they're gonna make a new DLC. We know they're gonna make dungeons. You gotta make dungeons. You gotta make trials. You gotta make delves. All that's understandable. But my problem, and I continue to say it, is that they continue to make more areas and areas. Stop making new zones. It's just not productive. It's not helping the
yeah.
game. Recycle. I mean, how do you feel about that? Like, what's your philosophy towards that?
I agree with it somewhat. They could improve what they've already got in the game. The very beginning of the reveal, I don't know if you heard the guy, but he's like, "We have some of the best storytelling in the genre," and I was like, "Oh my God, that's not even close to true." Like, it's some of the worst storytelling. I mean, the story is just bleh. Now the lore of this game. Kind of, kind of touching on what you were just saying. If they're going to add new zones, it needs to be better than it is. Now, I'm a big fan of the Elder Scrolls lore. So, Elder Scrolls, not ESO, not Elder Scrolls Online, but Elder Scrolls has been out for a long time. And the lore of this game is, kind of a cult following, almost like Lord of the Rings. It's a very expansive, very deep lore. So, they really kind of fucked up, for lack of a better term, because they did something with the new Daedric Prince that they're adding that has never been done since Elder Scrolls was invented back in the 90s or the 80s or whatever it was came out. And they changed the lore of the game. They're adding to it. That's pretty pretentious. Like, so I wasn't very happy about that. Um, But yeah, I agree that instead of just adding a bunch of new zones that are pretty much just cookie cutter, they're just all exactly the same thing. Um, they could go back to the zones or the stories that are already out. Even something as simple as this, just put the cinematics in the game and make it part of the story. That's all.
Exactly.
Just do that, and you would have such more an immersive experience. And you have so many more people doing the stories. just that. It's just so dry and blah. It's just, and the new zones, you're right, they're exactly the same. You're not impressing anyone at this point. Like, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. Um. Now for the newer players, sure, they'll love that stuff because, but as you get more into it, it becomes outdated and a bit repetitive. Um, then they decided they're gonna do the like every year, the typical stuff: trials, new dungeons, new delves, scry, etc. I mean, that's a must-have regardless because like an end gamer like ourselves, we're gonna need more content. It gets to a
Yeah,
point like, what else can we do? We cleared all the trials, we cleared all the dungeons. Yeah, we definitely gonna need more content. So, I mean, that's that they if they was to say they're not gonna do that anymore, um, that would just be terrible. If anything, I would say stop
that
doing so
would
many
be the end of
zones,
the game for us.
refurbish.
I mean,
Yeah,
because that's,
that's
like
when
I
it's
said,
time.
basically that's all I'm really looking forward to from this is the new dungeons and the new trial.